Just for all my homeowners out there, how y'all feeling? Yeah, y'all got that email yet saying y'all property tax done increased this year? Yeah, that insurance rate just going up higher and higher, ain't it? Yeah. Yeah, we just got an email this morning saying our mortgage payments done went up substantially. Yeah, so at this point, Uncle Sam, I'm gonna need to see you outside because we gonna have to squabble. I'm gonna need that fade. Everybody talking about, oh, you need to buy a house, buy a house. Yeah, until that mortgage rate go up. Till that escrow payment just skyrockets. Oh, man, and don't let nothing need to be fixed in the house. Yeah. You remember back in the day, you used to call maintenance, hey, maintenance, can you please send someone to 304? My AC unit is out. Yeah, let your AC unit go out now. You scared to call someone. You steady opening windows because you already know that bill gonna be higher than Smokey in the pigeon coop.
Welcome back to the channel. I love a good laugh. It's good to laugh, right? Even when things aren't necessarily going your way. Hopefully, if you are a homeowner, you've gone through the process or started the process to dispute the value if you don't believe that it's accurate. But I want to do a little educating for those of you who have not purchased your home yet, so that you will know how to do your due diligence before buying a home and know where to look to get an idea as to what the tax rate will be on the house that you're looking to buy, some of the other factors that you need to consider before you buy said home, and how you could go about potentially disputing the value of the property, the number in which the taxes are derived from. So those of you that don't know, my name is Robert, NMLS license number 180100. And on this channel, we simplify the home loan process.
Yesterday, I asked if seniors should be exempt from property taxes, and it seems like the general consensus is that we just shouldn't have property taxes at all. But I need you guys to understand that, I started my political journey in local government because of property taxes. Because my town did not file my homestead correctly, so after a year of living in my home, my property taxes jumped like crazy. So after we got it corrected, they were still high. So I started going line by line, looking at what I pay for.
She said a mouthful already. First and foremost, you have to be very aware and participate in your local government. There's always this big push nationally to vote. And to be honest, a lot of times it feels like a popularity contest, a high school prom king and queen type situation. And the local government, the one that really affects you and your living and your wallet, gets overlooked. And so, as she stated, the first issue is this: if you've not filed your homestead exemption, if you're a homeowner, then you need to make sure that's filed. And then you need to go one step further and make sure that it was filed correctly. You have to trust but verify everything. That's the point I want to make with that. For those of you who have not purchased yet, a homestead exemption gives you a discount, if you will, on the value of your property. After she went through that experience, she realized, you know what? I need to get involved and understand where all this money is going. All these places are run by people like us. People make mistakes and don't assume that because they're a voted in official or that they work a certain place, that they even have the ability to do said job. This is why.
Pretty much every single meeting to this day, they approve new spending. And I even ran for local office 2 years ago on the notion that I'm actually going to know how to budget and I'm going to do everything I can to save the taxpayers' money. And my opponent did not. She did the opposite, actually, saying that we need to increase costs to pay for all this infrastructure and everything. She won by 29 votes, and within 6 months of being in office, her and the rest of council approved a 33% tax increase. And people waited to the last minute to start screaming about that. And I'm like, guys, I have been here for years. I have been screaming about how no one knows how to look at a budget.
She's making an excellent point. There's a lot of screaming going on today. Everybody's tight. But the question is this: if you're a homeowner, do you go to the city council meetings? I liken it to those of you that buy a house that's in a homeowner association that has CC and Rs. If you don't know what that is, watch this video here. We did a video on that just the other day. But you move in and then you complain about the rules. Well, the whole time the rules were there. You just didn't do your due diligence. So I digress. To her point, she's making that a lot of these folks that are voted in, they don't even know how to run a budget. My point I'm making, ladies and gentlemen, is this. You have to be involved. You can't complain, and then you have to understand how these systems work. You have to understand who the local politicians are that get voted into these places that are just voting yes on everything, and you don't even know what's happening in your neighborhood.
Property taxes going up. I've seen a lot of posts with a lot of people bitching, moaning, groaning, complaining about their property taxes going up. But I don't see anybody that's really taken the time to learn how the whole system works to understand why this is happening. So who collects the property tax? Cities, counties. They collect the tax. The city auditor or the county auditor assesses the value. Now, here's the interesting thing. They say the property taxes are supposed to go to pay for schools. But if you ask ChatGPT, it tells you it goes for fire, police, schools, roads, and parks. Kind of leaving something out, aren't they? Now, this is how it works. Okay, the school district sells bonds to investors. Okay, but they also said from my research that the voters have to approve this debt, because that's basically what it is. They're getting money, it's bonds, just like the treasury bills, 10, 20, 30 years maturity, and it has to be paid back with interest. Well, the first thing I said is, well, wait a minute. Schools aren't in the business of making money, so how are they supposed to pay back this interest if they're not in the business of making money?
So I want to stop him right there, because in the area where I live, it's crazy some of these stadiums that they have for the athletics department. You can look worldwide and pit us here in these United States where we fall in technology and scores as far as academically, not that high. The schools, the children are used to get voters to approve bonds, aka debt, that most people, most renters, they'll approve anything, because if you watch any videos on the channel, most renters have that laissez-faire attitude in that I'm paying rent. So they vote for everything. Vote, 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 vote. The money's coming through the schools. You're not involved in the local city council and the government and things of that nature knows what's going on. These folks that are getting into office, more times than not, they can't even run the finances in their house. That's why you see of all this misappropriation and fraud, because everybody is saying, you do it. You do it. I don't have time. You do it. But then when it gets messed up, we want to complain.
And the second question was, I don't ever recall approving the debt that a school district was taking on. Maybe you can. I can't. So the district sells the bonds to this investor who bundles them together and resells them. And the district uses the cash for whatever. Now, basically, I don't see where there's much oversight, because if you've ever taken the time to look at a school's district's financial report, you can see where it'd be real easy to hide money. Okay, now, the idea is to use the property tax revenue to pay back the interest and principal. You sell the bonds and get cash. Property tax is supposed to pay back the principals and interest.
Get on ChatGPT and ask, what's the bond rating of the city that I'm looking to buy in? How much bond debt has the school district issued in the area that I'm looking to buy in? These are some of the insider things that you should be looking at to determine the health of the area that you're in. Aren't you tired of people complaining about, oh, my mortgage payment went up, right? And now we have the ability and the benefit of hearing all of those horror stories, and you guys get to educate yourself so you're not in that situation, because taxes are not going away. But can we do a better job in who we vote in, vetting them, making sure that they understand how to run a city, they understand debt, they understand, do we need this or not, right? You have to hold folks accountable. You trust, but you verify. You have to be involved and stop passing on your responsibility to someone else and then complaining. There you have it. This is why your taxes are going up. And if you're not in a home yet, you can decide, hey, do I want to be a homeowner? Because this is another aspect. And if you still say yes, then now you know what you have to do to understand what the taxes are. If you want to get onto the housing ladder, I would love to help you. I'm a lender, as I said earlier. My NMLS license number is 180100, and you can schedule a consultation by clicking the link in the top pinned comment or in the description of this video. My time's up, but I thank you for yours. Let's be good to one another. Let us let grace abound. Watch these next 2 videos. They'll continue your education if you're not ready to reach out and have that consultation, so that you will be ready and you'll know before you owe. Y'all stay blessed. Indeed.